most commonly used in the electronics lab, especially for the first semester electronics students. As soon as they come to the electronics lab, they need to know the working of few of these electronic equipments. The most commonly used one is the digital multimeter. You can have a look at the digital multimeter. The word multimeter says that you can use it for measuring resistance, voltages, currents, and many more applications are there. I will just explain to you how to use this for measuring resistance, voltages, AC and DC. Now, suppose you have a resistor. This is a resistor. You want to measure the resistance of this resistor. And this is a digital multimeter. There are two probes. The red probe is in the, this is the positive, and the black which is put in the common terminal, that is the negative. So whenever you want to measure voltage or resistance, you are going to use these two probes. For current, you will be using here. So for resistance, now you can see here, ohms it is written. This point corresponds to 200 ohms. This is 2 kilo ohms, 20 kilo ohms, 200 kilo ohms, 2 mega ohms, 20 mega ohms, 200 mega ohms. So you can measure a wide range of resistances, but whichever one your resistor is, accordingly you have to choose the scale. So first I am going to keep it in 200. If I keep this resistor, it is not showing any reading. That means 200 is not sufficient. Go to the next range, 2K. Again it is not sufficient. I have gone to 20K. Now it is reading as 9.4 approximately kilo ohms. Because it is kept in 20 kilo ohms, this should be read as 9.48 kilo ohms. So if you exceed the range, it will just show as 1. So it automatically you have to go to the next range. So for a resistance there is no polarity, so you can keep it either way and measure. You will get the same value. Next is voltage. Now you can see this is the sign of DC. Whenever you want to measure DC voltage, keep it in any of these ranges. 200 millivolt, 2 volt, 20, 200, 1000. So depending upon how high your voltage is, you can keep this pointer into any of those. Similarly, whenever you want to measure AC, it should be kept in any of these. 2 is here, 20, 200, 7000. So it should be kept here. So when you measure voltages, according to your circuit, positive will go to the terminal marked as positive, negative to negative. So terminal is important for voltages as well as currents. For resistance, there is no polarity. You can check either way. So this is about the digital multimeter. Next we have the next instrument called as the regulated power supply. You have a positive here, negative here and the ground here. So you connect, this is initially it is switched off. This is for voltage change, coarse and fine. So whatever your connections, if you have to give the power supply, this is DC. Regulated power supply means you are getting a DC voltage. This is the positive, this is the negative. The ground we leave it, switch on the power supply, and this is the scale you are going to read. This is actually the current which is drawn. We are not going to use that. When you turn this voltage, you can see that voltage keeps changing. This is for rough, coarse or rough, and for fine adjustments you use the lower one. So bring it to 0. It is originally at 0. Whenever this shows an overload, the bulb glows. Adjust the current limit such that it does not glow. So whenever you finish your experiment, don't just switch it off. Always bring the voltage to minimum and then switch off. So whenever you need a DC voltage or a DC power supply, you have to use the regulated power supply. Next you have the separate clip. We will just close it.